What's happening, fam? John here from AF Anime, and I'm here to talk about some One Piece today, or more specifically, we need to talk about Buggy. Now, if you are an anime-only One Piece fan, this is going to include some spoilers, which have some very heavy implications, so either get caught up on the manga if you want, or if you don't care about that sort of thing, here we go. Now, we are on an incredibly long One Piece break as we move towards the end of the series, and one of the big revelations from the most previous chapter that we've gotten is the fact that Buggy the Clown is now a Yonko alongside Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard. And from the comments and Reddit posts that I've seen throughout the One Piece community, it's fair to say that everyone has mixed feelings about where Buggy should be and where he currently is. But I am here to tell you guys today that Buggy as a Yonko actually works. So what I'm going to do in this video is present to you 4 reasons as to why Buggy as a Yonko is a viable option going forward within the story of One Piece. And I know a lot of people out there consider Buggy in a situation where he's basically falling upwards, meaning that he's getting lucky and happening into more influence and more power as time goes by. And while that might be somewhat true, he does actually warrant a little bit of concern and a little bit of danger from the world government and his influence and his interactions with them. So we're going to start off with point number 1 for Buggy's Yonko status, and that is his crew. Now, admittedly, his crew's strength has waned a little bit with the departure of the 5 giants who were employed under Buggy's delivery service. But as we know for now, he still is allied with Alvida and her crew, as well as the former Baroque Works member Mr. 3 or Galdino. So at the very least, between Buggy, Alvida, and Galdino, those are 3 Devil Fruit users who, from what we know, have yet to awaken their Devil Fruit abilities. But those 3 leaders aside, he still does have a crap ton of people that broke out with him from Impel Down. So of these pirates who remain loyal to Buggy, some of them may come across as comical in their adherence to this character, but at the same time, they were in Impel Down. So they have to have some form of wanted level before being broken out, as well as you got to imagine that there has to be at the very least a small percentage of them who also are Devil Fruit users as well. So in terms of his crew and the sheer numbers that they possess, there is some potential there. But at the same time, we also have to accept the possibility that in terms of Devil Fruit usage, Buggy's delivery service could be holding on to the most vast expanse of Devil Fruit users within the One Piece world. So if there was ever a debate about whether or not Buggy has a crew fit for a Yonko, I think the argument is actually there. Next, we're going to move on to reason number 2 for Buggy's Yonko status, and that is going to be his power. Now, when it comes to power, I think most of us, whether or not we believe he should be a Yonko or not, can all agree that we don't really see him beating Luffy, Shanks, or Blackbeard in a 1v1 fight. But we can't deny the fact that his Devil Fruit ability does have some serious potential with it. I mean, for starters, he has possessed his Devil Fruit since he was a kid, which means that he probably has had this Devil Fruit ability for close to 30 years by now. I mean, if we recall back to his fight or his interaction with Mihawk, when we see that he gets cut up into a bunch of pieces here, I think that it would be fair to assume that Buggy is responsible for the separation himself and not necessarily his fruit acting like a Logia and preventing him from being cut. Which would mean that if Mihawk was expertly and quickly trying to slice Buggy up, he was able to use his fruit to separate into all of these small pieces to prevent from being injured. And although I've given it some thought, I can't really think about how powerful his Devil Fruit may or may not be once he figures out an awakening for it. But one thing that is clear about his Devil Fruit, if he were to incorporate Conquerors, Observation, and Armament Haki into his abilities, it would make him a very powerful opponent. For one, we would assume that Haki-clad blades still wouldn't be able to cut him due to the nature of his fruit, even though he's not a Logia. But at the same time, if he were to expand the amount of range that he has to freely move around his body parts, then the incorporation of Armament and Observation Haki could also make him a physically powerful opponent. So we don't know if he has any of those forms of Haki officially yet, but it's safe to assume that in the position of power that he's in, it's likely that he will at least have 2 of those before the series is done. But that is not all I have to talk about when it comes to Buggy's power. For one, he's been deemed a Yonko status as of the most recent chapter. Naturally, this would mean or imply that whoever was sent after him to capture him after the Shichibukai system was dissolved ultimately failed. So we have to assume that Buggy more than likely defeated whatever opponent was sent his way. Now, to my knowledge, no admirals were sent to capture Buggy, so it's most likely a vice admiral or someone around that rank who failed to capture him. But this does not take away from the fact that someone beyond just a basic vice admiral would need to be sent to capture this character, and a lot of the admirals are considered to be on Yonko level. So when it comes to power, Buggy is maybe not the most powerful character, but he absolutely has the potential to be one of the most powerful. And then on top of that, when it comes to the massive size of his crew, in terms of sheer numbers and possible devil fruit users, he probably takes the cake in comparison to most Yonko aside from maybe Luffy and the Grand Fleet. Now, reason number 3 is going to be for his influence. Now, I know in terms of influence, he's not the biggest player, but when we look at the things that he's accomplished and the things that he's done so far, it probably indicates a bigger future for this character. For one, we already know that Buggy was a part of the Pirate King's crew. So this on top of the fact that he worked as an intermediary with Buggy's delivery service between the underworld and the world government and their dealings, this would mean that this character's influence is actually pretty expansive, probably more so than any other Yonko out there. Additionally, with the defeat of Doflamingo, this could mean that Buggy himself has picked up contracts or alliances with other underground members that Doflamingo can no longer satiate. So to stretch his influence even more simplistically, Buggy has the ability to manipulate the world government for the sake of his potential knowledge as a Pirate King crew member, as well as his knowledge within the world of the underground of One Piece. And to that end, aside from maybe Shanks, who does have some ties to the world government, Buggy does appear to be one of the most knowledgeable Yonko crews out there. In fact, we would have to assume that he is more tied into the inner workings of the One Piece world with the world government, a lot more so than Luffy and Blackbeard. So I think it's fair to say that in terms of influential Yonko, Buggy is up there, if not the top Yonko. And the fourth and final reason I have for Buggy to be a justifiable Yonko is going to be his potential. Now, when it comes to Buggy's potential, the previous 3 points all take precedence here. In terms of his power, aside from the sheer numbers and the potential number of devil fruit users among his crew, he also is a bit tech savvy. We've seen from his Buggy Balls and some of his tech that we saw earlier in the series that he's fully capable of destroying entire cities at a time. Now, maybe not sinking an entire island like a ancient weapon, but it's comparable to some degree. And his potential to influence the world of One Piece if he were to reveal some secrets of the underground could actually shake the foundations of the world government and their power hold or their grip hold on their perception when it comes to the random commoners of the One Piece world. Now, when it comes to his crew, or the first reason of this video, it could actually expand exponentially with the whole situation of him becoming a Yonko, as we know that a lot of pirates are attracted to power, and some of which might just go join his crew specifically because of the title he was just granted. So while Luffy does have a relatively small crew with a massive following from the Grand Fleet, Buggy may actually be in line to have the largest pirate crew of all time. And what's more, he holds the potential to ally himself to the other Yonko, aside from maybe Blackbeard. We know that Buggy and Shanks will never join the same crew officially, but it could be within the realm of possibility for them to ally themselves in a similar fashion to Big Mom and Kaido, should the world government start pushing buttons and going after the Yonko more fervently. On top of that, he's also previously aligned himself with Luffy when it comes to the Impel Down arc, so this character not only is a Yonko with a lot of influence, a lot of power, but he also has been tied to the other 2 Yonko with a lot of influence and a lot of power. Now, that's all I got for this video and all my reasonings for why Buggy officially works as a dominant threat to the world government and as such should be considered a Yonko. But feel free to let me know in the comment section down below if you agree or disagree. I'm open to all opinions and all thoughts in regards to One Piece. If you guys made it all the way through this video, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more One Piece content like this. Since we are on such a long break, I intend on dropping more content similar to this where it is just me giving my thoughts on certain things about One Piece. I need to do a better job of giving you guys more content aside from just reviews, and this break does present that opportunity. So if you guys have anything you want me to talk about or anything you want me to discuss or analyze, let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, my name is John. I'm with AF Anime. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.